Hey y'all, this is Cindy. I'm the Tireless Tangler, and you've arrived at day 32 of our 100 Days of Zentangle Project 2020. Thank you all so much for being with me today. You have made this project such a joy. I feel like I have so many friends that I tangle with every day, and I just want you guys to know how much I appreciate you all. I have been having lots of fun on Instagram with the direct messages, so if you guys want to hear back from me, just shoot me a direct message, send me something. I have had someone say, or 2 or 3 people say that they are showing me their work on Facebook. I just want to remind you guys that even though my Instagram posts are posting to my account on Facebook, I'm not actually checking into Facebook right now. And so I don't want you to feel like I'm ignoring you. If you're not getting a response, check with me on Instagram. That'll be the easiest thing. I know it's another social media and we hate those. Well, at least I hate them. But I can't deny that they are a great way to keep people all over the world in touch with each other. And so that's the way I'm rolling right now. At some point, I will be back on Facebook. I need to be, but it's not right now. Okay. So in my box from Zentangle yesterday, I got some of their new gray toned tiles, and I thought I would show you the difference. This is an original tile, this is the gray, and this is the color of the tan tiles. The gray, I feel, is different. It's got a more smooth surface on the front. It doesn't have nearly, sorry, I was just playing on here with IMA. Doesn't have nearly the sort of cool texture that this does. Even the, sorry, that was Gelly Joy, but even the surface on the tan tiles is more similar to the original tiles. So that was something interesting that I noticed right off. And so I'm going to use one of these gray tiles today, and we're going to see how that goes. So today's tangle is going to be Windmill by my classmate at CZT training, CZT 32, Hiroku Matsuo. She is Japanese and a wonderful, wonderful tangler. So I have been just egging us on with all of the organic tangles that we love this week. And it's time for us to throw another grid pattern in. So I'm going to do it. I'm going to bite the bullet and do it. This one is really interesting, and I have to say that I really loved Linda Farmer's version of it a lot. I'm going to keep my whimsical borders to myself today and just start with my 4 dots. Sorry, I'm still trying to get my rig together. I'm going to space them in a little bit so I don't quite have so much area to cover. But you may do this corner to corner, if you will, on your tile without a border. Okay? I'm not going to use a string today. We are just going to dive right in. So the first thing we want to do is draw a square grid in here. Okay? So I'm going to start with my border line. And again, for me, this is tough, trying to keep a consistent distance between each ones. And you can tell I am seriously on the deckled edges today. That's okay. It's been a tough emotional day, so I think some tangling is probably going to be good. My little one is leaving me for a week to visit family, and that is tough on both of us. Isn't it, little one?
What?
Never mind. Okay, so once we have finished one stroke, then we're going to turn our tile 90 degrees, and then we're going to go back the other way. trying as well as we can to get square shapes. And once again, this is always a challenge for me. I always tend to let my lines either go higher or lower as I run. We're going to see how I do today. And we're going to see how this tangle handles my abilities. So we're going to give it a test drive. Well, this one would be fine. This one needs that. How about that? And we'll just leave some extra hanging off there. Close enough. I'm gonna deal. As I tell you guys, it does not matter if you make what you perceive as a mistake. Zentangle does not believe in mistakes. So we have a square grid. Now what we're going to do is start in one box, in the first box, and we're going to make a line down the center. Okay? I'm going to skip the next box, and we're going to do the same thing. Skip, and line down the center. Okay? Just like that. And we're going to continue now in every off square. So every other one is going to get this treatment. Okay? I want you guys to stay with me here, because as we move, then this will look more complex than it truly is. And I don't want anybody wigging out on me. Particularly me. No wigging, Cindy. Or whinging. I still have plans to do that tangle, a whinging. It looks interesting to me. I just can't quite fathom how that works. All right, so once you have completed every other square with a line down the center, you're going to turn your tile 90 degrees, and in each of these squares that have not been treated, we're going to do the same thing. Just put a line down the center, okay? So continuing to each blank square, you're going to do your middle line. Right down the center. Well, or as center as you can get, in my case. That is always center-ish. There we go. Now, so far, this isn't so bad, right? And as you go, you can just turn your tile for each square if you wish, but I always think it's a best practice to do all of your strokes the same way, and in doing them this way, you're doing the same stroke, you're just turning your tile after. So this is what we have to begin with, okay? Let me do it this way. Okay, now, the fun begins. What I want you to do is start in this corner next to the square, and we're going to put two curved lines down, okay? One of them is going to go from this corner into the center, into the corner, from this corner to this corner, okay? And the next one is going to meet this here. Okay, so you're going to curve the next one to meet that line going down. Right? Okay, so we're going to continue to do that, skipping the squares and taking this one to the corner and one curved line down to the center line on the bottom square. Okay? Let's continue to do that. These are going to be a little bit longer, because that is more of a rectangle than a square. Okay, skip down to the next row and do the same thing. One curved line to the corner and one curved line to the line in the bottom square. Okay, let's finish this one up. This looks very complex, and while it has several steps, in form it is really quite simple. And I just want to point out something. I have never drawn this before this moment. I did not practice this. I wanted to see how it would be for me if I were in your shoes, as it were. And so I want us to all see how hard or easy this is together. It will be a truly learning experience for everyone. Okay, last row, curved line to the corner. I'm going to pretend there's another square there going down. Take your time and breathe. I really loved Linda Farmer's example here, so if you haven't seen it, you can go to tanglepatterns.com and check it out. All right, so that's where we're at, and the next step is to rotate your tile 180 degrees. Okay, so turn it upside down, and we're going to do the same step going this way this time. Okay, so you're starting right here in your corner, curved line to the corner, curved line to the line going down in the box beneath you. Okay, and repeat. Curved line to the corner, curved line to the line in the box beneath. Oh, this is going to be interesting, I think. Curved line to the corner. And remember, the joy of grid patterns is knowing what to do next. There's no thinking involved. There's no, I wonder where I'll put this next one, like we have been having with our organic tangles over the last few days. Grid tangles don't have any expectations of you, if you will. You're able to really get in there and just make the same strokes. Don't worry about what's coming next. Corner to corner, corner to line. Just like that. Focus on each stroke. Focus on that curve. Corner to corner, corner to middle line, corner to corner, and corner to the middle line. Okay? Now, this looks really complex, right? But it wasn't hard to draw this far. So now what we're going to do is we're going to turn our tile 90 degrees. And we're going to treat the other squares in the exact same way. So now, find your square that has not been drawn in, that just has the bisecting line, okay? And we're going to go corner to corner again, the nice curve. And then that next one we're going to bring to that middle line, right? Okay. Let me start up here so I'm doing this right. So corner to corner, corner to middle, corner to corner, corner to middle. Try to ignore what is going on in the squares next to you. Just focus on your corner to corner, corner to middle. It's going to work. Trust the pattern to work. Just follow the steps, corner to corner, corner to middle. And go through on each of these squares that hasn't been filled in and repeat your steps, corner to corner, corner to middle, corner to corner, corner to middle, corner to corner, corner to middle. Just have a couple more. Trust the pattern. The joy in these types of patterns is the non-thinking portion of it. And I do like that. Even though I'm not a fan of grid patterns, it's true. You know what to expect with them, and that there is a freedom in that. Okay, now again, turn your tile upside down, or 180 degrees, and take this last little rectangle here and repeat the steps. Oh, look there. I see a meta pattern forming. So the next one, but don't worry about it right now. Focus on the corner to corner, corner to middle. Okay? Corner to corner, corner to middle. Anywhere you see one of these boxes, these rectangles that is not complete, Just go in there, corner to corner, corner to middle. And if you'll notice, you're making the exact same stroke with your pen as we go along. The only thing that's changing is the position of the tile. You know, this is much, much easier to draw than I thought perhaps it would be, which pleases me. It's very zenful, and I think the pattern that comes out of it is going to be very cool. Just a couple more, corner to corner, corner to middle. And again, don't get confused by all of the lines and the things that are going on. Focus just on the two strokes that you're going to be doing. Corner to corner and corner to middle. This is all the same stroke, just turned in different directions. All right, that, let me make sure I didn't forget anything. This is your basic pattern. Now, what can we do to really enhance this? Because, like I said, Linda Farmer's example was very cool, and I think that had to do with the way that she shaded it. So I'm going to go through here, clean up any lines that I see that weren't complete, and stop making a mess, hopefully. This is kind of cool, actually. I kind of like it. All right, so I wish I hadn't done this, but you know, it is what it is, and I'm not going to worry about it. I may do another tile with this. In the meantime, I want to explore some of Hiroku's suggestions that she has for embellishing. One of the things she did that was very cool was to let's see if I can find a good spot to start. She divided these little sections like this and put orbs in them, although I'm not sure my surface on this tile is large enough for that, but that does make it kind of dressy. So it's kind of like echo lines coming out and then orbs filling the middle section like that, and I can imagine that this will dress it up quite nicely. We'll try that, and then adding our orbs. Well, I do like that. So this would go this way. And then add your orbs down. And so this would go and so you'd have something very swirly that sort of looks like this. Okay, and I'm going to probably continue this, but right now I want to take a look at the way that Linda Farmer shaded this, because I felt like it was extremely effective in giving a windmill effect, sort of looking. So what she seems to have done is, if you can see, sort of blank out all the noise here, and if you can see these sort of diamond shapes right here, right here, right here, that's the meta pattern. And so we're going to shade a little bit to see if we can really enhance that meta pattern right there. So it looks like Linda has shaded around these diamonds. And then put a lot of shading here in these middles where the lines cross. Let me find my tortillon. It's the tortillon It's just a little rolled paper piece. I also use paper stumps, which have the rolled paper at each end, the point at each end. So Linda has basically done her shading to make this roundish section dark. And by doing that, she's enhancing the diamond meta pattern. And a meta pattern, remember, is a pattern that becomes clear, is a different pattern that becomes clear as you change things around or put things together in grid patterns and such. So let's shade a couple more of these and see how that goes. All right, and now this is a little problematic, I'm noticing, with this because the diamonds themselves sort of overlap, and so you're going to have to shift the shading to take that into consideration somewhat. But you can see that as you shade different elements, now over here, we might shade something completely different. So what if, let me finish blending all of this. And see, while I have shaded and enhanced this star shape or little diamond shape, then I have obscured the side of this one down here. So I'm not sure that this is the best choice for shading, i.e. on all four sides. However, what Linda did perhaps was just shade the orbs, these little round spots in the middle. So let's try that over here, just shading these little round orbs. And let's see, this, unless I forgot that one somehow. And that way the darkness does not detract from the diamond shapes or star shapes or kite shapes or however you want to represent them. But then we are focusing on dropping these orb shapes either back or, it just depends on your perspective, I suppose. If we do that, then these become more dynamic. So what I'm thinking is I'm going to try this embellishment and this shading technique and see what I end up with. You guys are of course allowed to come along for the ride, and I may in different squares try different things embellishment wise. I haven't quite decided. I really love Hiroku's example here. So let me think. I'm going to go ahead and do a couple more of these orb embellishments. You're basically auraing each side of the little thing, and then putting orbs in the middle section. It's really more of an echo, but it doesn't really matter. Oh, Simba is snoring loudly again today. He says hey to all the people. My little one says hey. Okay. Now, as you embellish, you're going to want to be cognizant of how that's going to play. And quite frankly, I don't know how this is going to play. And I'm kind of wanting to, but this would be here. So I'm not sure if this particular embellishment and my desire for the shading to be the way I want it, I'm not sure this is a good mix. I'm not sure they will work cohesively together. But let's give it a try and see what happens. And I'm really not paying attention to where I'm doing what. I'm just picking these little sections and going for it. So hopefully I won't pay for that later. So I want to do this one and see how that's going to look. Oh, but that's the wrong one, so it would have to be this one. And these look like those little whirligigs you get at the fair, right? So the caveat for this design is that you don't want to do it in the little spaces right next to each other. So basically, this is what we would have, and then shading in here. Now, that might work. It might work. Okay, so I am going to finish this tile. You may do what I have done. You may do your own thing. You can skip this tangle and do something else. It's entirely up to you. It is your art. No matter what we do on these projects, it is your art. And if you want to do something some different way than I have done, then please do so. I encourage that. I encourage exploration. If you get an idea while I'm drawing and say, hey, what if we did that? I want you to get your paper out and try it. I know a certain amount, but as I remind you guys, I am self-taught pretty much from YouTube and from, of course, any Oaken. And what I have learned there, the most important thing I have learned is to be fearless in my approach to art. So if you want to be an artist, and by the way, guys, for those of you who are my age or older and you are experiencing Zentangle for the first time, I want to tell you something. It changed my life. It changed my life. Especially for older people, we can learn so much from the practice of this meditative art form. And you will get better, and your art will get better, and it will become something you're proud of. It has given me a sense of self-esteem that I did not have before. When you're homebound and in situations that are out of your control, so many times we feel like there is nothing left in the world for us. But you know what? There is. I learned to be an artist when I was, in my 50s. So, and I know some of you are older than that, in your 70s. I want you to know, I know a lot of tanglers that are exceptional at that age. So I want you to not be afraid to try this. Don't be afraid to put a pen to paper and see what happens, even if it's a ballpoint pen, even if it's copy paper, whatever you've got to do to start drawing, draw. If you can afford nice supplies, that's all to the good. I highly recommend the supplies that Zentangle promotes and have created. I think they are exceptional tools, and I think in the beginning, when I was tangling, the cheaper alternatives were fine, but the more work I put into art, the more important it became for me to have respect for what I was doing. And I didn't. I was embarrassed by my results and spent a lot of time trying to figure out how to fix them so they looked right. And I was missing the point of so much of this. The point isn't to be better than anyone else. It isn't to draw nicer than anyone else. The point of this is for you to relax and have a creative outlet and just go with it. Create something beautiful, even if you don't share it with anyone else. If you can hold it out at arm's length and look at it and say, this isn't bad, this is actually pretty cool, then we have accomplished what we want. I just want to encourage you older guys that are just starting out, wiggly lines and all, shaking and all. Put your pen to your paper. You're going to find out that the more you draw, the better your lines become. It's muscle memory. even if it's old muscle memory, even if it's shaky muscle memory, you can do this. You can try this out. You can be an artist at 70 or 80 or 100. I intend to draw until my hands will not allow it anymore. So, and you don't have to be perfect. And it's not necessarily, I'm getting all wound up again. It's not necessarily about that. It's about, do you have an ability to sit down and enjoy a few minutes of just zenning out? You know, the first place I noticed this helped me was waiting at doctor's offices. I'm very impatient, and I get irritated that they are so, you know, they're such, forgive me, they're such Nazis about you being on time and not wasting their time and all of that, and yet they waste yours all the time. That's something that always frustrates me. So that helped me a lot, because when I sat in their offices, I stopped worrying about what they were doing. I started just drawing, and it made a huge difference to me. I'm trying to figure out where I'm at and what I should do. Take your time. If you get lost, just take your time. Turn your tile around, look for a spot that looks familiar, and then go for it. And if you want to do a different fill for these and try something completely different, I may do that too at some point. I may draw a different tile when I'm finished with this if I don't like the overall effect. I can tell now that my little orbs could be rounder. But again, we're not done, and I'm not giving up on it until we are. So, you know, and then if I think it's awful, then I might toss it, but I doubt it. I have had that happen now this week a couple of times, right? And even though I wasn't excited, some of you really liked the outcomes, and that's what it's about. It's about pleasing yourself. It's about pleasing others and just letting yourself relax. Relax, guys. We have so much bad and so much stress right now in our world, and we need to relax. So please, guys, relax. Oops, I think I did that out of order, and I really like what happened. I did do it out of order, but I like what happened. So I wonder what would happen if we did this embellishment on all the sections coming together in these little star patterns. Let's try it out and see how it looks. And then not doing my most careful job here, but now, I normally don't do this on a tile. I don't normally get a tile and experiment. I usually experiment in my sketchbook, and that's generally the safe place to do that. But we're doing this together. And if I can save you guys some time by trying some stuff out, that works too. I really like that, actually. I'm going to try this last one. See what it looks like. You never know these with grid patterns. You never know until you try. Okay. That's not bad. There's some interesting things going on here. Okay, so what else could we try that's a little different? What if we just put auras in? Or echo lines, depending. And we did it to each shape and continued those. I'll do one across here. Ooh, I like that. This is the fun with grid patterns, is once you have the grid in, then you can play with the meta patterns and see what you like and what you don't. I'm missing an echo or an aura line in there somewhere, but that's another way to go about it. What if we blacked the orb section? Let's find out over here. Now, I may not have gotten enough auras in to separate from this other section, but let's find out what it looks like. Or you could put little dots in the middle here. Ooh, that's a good idea. I got distracted there, didn't I? That might work. I really like this Micron PN for filling large spaces. It really does have a nice ink flow. But you don't get overwhelmed with ink the way that you can with the 08. I like the 08s a lot for this type of thing because they just get the job done really quickly. But the PNs for tile size things, they really handle it fairly well. So I'm going to try to fill this in and not have any of my stars show through, John. I really appreciated that comment. That was a new one for me, and that was very astute of you. So today I want to shout out my friends in India and my friends in Asia. Taiwan, China, and Japan. I think we have some from South Korea as well. That might be too much for the pattern. You guys let me know in comments what you think about this. I want to look down here. What if on these diamond things we did these little radiating lines out? Let's see. Something like this. And like this. Okay, that's something else you might try. What happens if we filled it in all the way? Now, I do like that. I do like the way that looks. Actually, I really like the way that looks. But you know what? I wouldn't have known if I hadn't tried it. Try your ideas. Be free to try your ideas. And just see. And if you get a mishmash like this and it's not a complete tile, then, you know, set it aside. Do not throw your tiles away. Set them aside, put them in a box, something to save them. And you never know when you're going to pull that out again and go, hey, I know what I can do. So I'm going to keep doing these radiating lines and see how they look when the elements are next to each other. And then I want to thank you guys for all your prayers and everything. I got a different medication for my pain, and it has helped tremendously well. So I appreciate all of your well wishes and your hopeful prayers, and you're holding me up. I appreciate that so much. I appreciate you all. And those of you who have left me comments about you feel like you're... I've actually had a couple of you say that when you hear the extracurricular noises at my house, like Simba and the child and the traffic and all of those things, that you feel like you're in the room with me and tangling with a friend. And I love that comment, because exactly that was what my goal was for this project this year, was to have everyone in it and doing it with a friend. We are all so isolated right now, and I am too. And it is wonderful for me to know that I post these videos and you guys watch them, and they mean something to you. That means that's it. That's the reason I do these, is because I want to share this healing gift that of Zentangle. It literally helped me with depression. It has helped me cope with pain. It has helped my attitude. It has helped me be a more positive person. And so I can't say enough. I really like these. You know, I think what I'm going to do is start another tile, and I'm going to do this type of radiating line pattern out, and then do my shading and see what I end up with. See, this has already been a long video, so I'm going to leave it here, and I apologize for not having a completed tile for you, but give this a try. Let me know in comments, was this hard for you? Did you like it? Just let me know, and I'll be looking for your art on Instagram. Don't forget to tag me at the Tireless Tangler, or hashtag the Tireless Tangler. Either one of those will pop it up in my feed, and I will check it out. Thank you guys so much for being the supportive group that you are. I feel like we are holding each other up. I want you guys to feel free to answer each other's comments in comments, because I want you guys to know each other, and the more we read each other's comments and comment ourselves, the closer this group will become. And so I really encourage you. I want to know where you guys are from. I want to know, you know, whatever you want to tell me, I want to know. All right. So I am going to do another tile. I think I'm going to do it on camera, but speed it up for you, and we'll see how that turns out. Okay? I'll see you guys tomorrow for day 33. That will be our official 1/3 stopping point, and then the fun really begins.
Or will it?
Or will it? See, Peanut Gallery says. If you find these videos enjoying, if they're meaningful to you in some way, if they have helped you at all, be sure and drop me a comment, like the video for me, because YouTube cares about those things, and subscribe if you don't want to miss anything. I know subscriptions and notifications are a pain, but that way you get this popped up into your email the minute the videos go live. Unfortunately, I don't have a schedule at this point for when they come out. They have been around 11 o'clock midnight Central Time in the US, and some of them have been 2 a.m. in Central Time. Some of them have been later. So I'm getting them out as early in the day as I can, and I liked posting them in the morning, but right now that ain't happening. So anyway, so I'm going to get busy on my tile, and I'll see you all tomorrow for day 33. Thanks for being with me, guys. Much love.
Yeah, you told me the other day you'd be coming back today, but you didn't. Oh no, there's much that I can do. Really far of being us two, and I miss you, baby. Show me the way I can be with you. You with her, I know I saw you. Breaks my heart, but what can I do? It is life, I know I lost you for good. Show me the way I can be with you. You with her, I know I saw you. Breaks my heart, but what can I do? It is life, I know I lost you for good.
I don't deny there's some strange evolutionary process going on, but mankind won't be destroyed. The fact that you and I are working here today is evidence of that.